Tora, I'm going to pound bad cat. I've been ill through my excuse to go shredding everything in the house, guys. Get up and what's the word? Chase them away from something they know not to do. It hurts to cough because my back has gone out. So I have the flu, which involves frequent coughing. Second day in a row, the cats slashed open a bag of cat treats and then had the nerve to beg me to give them treats. Ha, ha, ha. Oi. Sorry. Well, I don't exactly hate my cats, but I'm really mad at them. Well, hi, Lillian Russell. Or Lily Russell. Yeah, you're Howard's other half, huh? Okay. Got one person in chat. I can't stay on long. I'm in pain from my evil back. And it gets worse when I cough because, as I said at the beginning, I have the flu for the first time since 1969. And I wasn't that ill then, but I am this time. It's hard to sit down, it's hard to get up, it's hard to walk. There we go. And the cats are evil. Yes, you will. Well, they are. Yes. Should have named you Kywacket, huh? All right. Bad kitties want more treats. And you got me surrounded like a couple little vultures, don't you? I can't reach the stinking cat treats. I gotta get up, turn around, get the treats. Cats. Oh, Sweetie didn't even run off or walk away when I got up and did all this. She's getting awfully bold. She used to freak out and run away if it looked like I might be getting up out of my chair. There you go, Sweetie Pie. Are you a good girl? Not likely. Not nearly. You neither, Tora. Okay. So, hi, Howard. I'm still gonna keep on trucking. Ow, 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 ow. I think maybe this goes. This must go the other way. It's called a trochanter. I think that's how you spell it. Trochanter. It's a brace for your hips and lower back. And I can't figure out how it's supposed to get wrapped around But the regular brace keeps riding up to the thoracic spine, and I need it down on my lumbar spine. Uh, mm, go. I don't know what that word was going to be. My phone went and made a noise that I didn't like. Okay, guys, the world is falling apart around us, and it seems as if there's nothing we can do. But there's always something you can do. And if you're a fan of Philip K. Dick, you've probably noticed this. Maybe what you can do seems small and insignificant, but it's important that you do it. A simple act of kindness. Kind of like the story of the little Dutch boy who put his finger in the dike and saved the town from flooding. That sort of thing. Of course, it's apocryphal. It probably didn't happen, but it illustrates things very well right now. You might feel, as I do, that you're holding up a teeny tiny birthday candle in a sea of darkness. But what would it be without that little light? Hi, Oswald. I'm typing. I haven't mastered talking while typing. Huh. Unless I'm saying each letter that I peck out on the keyboard. I learned touch typing in the days of typewriters. Well, my little pinky fingers never could push those keys properly. So I didn't really learn touch typing right, but I'm pretty good at it. That's probably why I didn't do as well as I wanted in violin class. My little pinky finger wasn't strong enough to push down the violin string. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. It is awful to be feeling like this. This is a Tuesday morning, isn't it? Yep. There's a car out front. I don't think they're visiting me, though. They don't look familiar. Part of my problem this morning is I'm full of a variety of cold medicines. You know, a sort of a cocktail. Alka-Seltzer Plus, which sadly is sweetened with sorbitol, and sorbitol makes me feel ill. It doesn't taste sweet to me, it tastes like rotten fruit. But it has a cough suppressant and a decongestant and an antihistamine. What in the world is that? Weird looking car. can't see the whole thing through that particular window. Oh well. If I open the door to look at it, 2 cats will go flying out. Maybe I should let them go flying out, eh? Well, this does tell me what time it is, just in an unexpected place. Oh, I'm way late today. I thought it was just 8 o'clock and it's 20 till 9. Oh, man, where's my brain been? I've been playing audiobooks of Agatha Christie stories and novels. And not much else. I tried to eat. Well, I had lots of tea and soup. I tried to eat my favorite frosted raspberry Pop Tart. Nope, just wasn't appetizing. Not even with melted butter on it. I don't know. This better end soon. It's been a full week now of just, well, flu symptoms. Runny nose, coughing, wheezing, lethargy, no energy. I mean, I didn't even pay the bills that I could pay online. I've got to do that, but for the past few days, the light has hurt my eyes. Oh, messed up the camera, didn't I? It's getting better now. I can tolerate more light. Oh, this is Great Granny's rocking chair, by the way. I'm not jumping up and down, I'm rocking. Still have not received my Dunhill cigarettes. The company is shipping them from overseas, so it could take quite a while. You can see me now, can't you, Lily? Lily says she can't see me. Oh, Lord. There, here. Okay, good. Yeah, I was invisible for a minute there. Between messing up the camera and leaning back in Great Granny's rocking chair, I do tend to disappear. So a whole week in which I could not do any yard work. I haven't even watered in 3 days. That's probably not a bad thing. It hasn't been super hot, at the most 70s. Oh, you flash your smartphone at smokers in public places? Some people need to get a life. One time, I actually had a woman with a small child by the hand cross the street in order to get in my face and tell me that my cigarette bothered her from across the street. So I told her to go back across the street and get out of my face. Ugh. I used to take tons of gum and mints and sweet tarts to class when I was a student. It was the only way I could get through 2 hours without a cigarette. Yeah, there's a strong belief among smokers, especially, that smoking is a sign of independent thinking. In my case, it's self medication. Of course, the medical profession frowns on that. Sorry, stinking flu. They want you to come to the doctor and get a pill for that. Ah, it was, for one thing, I was born smoking. Back then, new mothers could smoke in their rooms at the hospital, and mom did. At home, both parents chain smoked, and mom wouldn't open a window. In the car, too. But I have such incredibly low blood pressure that I need to boost it. Well, I guess it's been well over a week now, close to 2 weeks. I had food poisoning. Okay, something like 10, 12 days ago. I smoked a cigarette right before the ambulance came, and my blood pressure, they said, was 100 over 80. Well, it, right after smoking a cigarette, it should have been 120 over 95 or so. But I was in shock from the food poisoning. And I go into shock very easily because my blood pressure's already low. Ah, yeah. Sorry. Something's really hurting in my back. You know, where I broke it a while back. Um, Now that my kidneys aren't screaming at me, I can tell that my spine hurts. And yeah, it was yesterday. I had trouble getting up in the morning because of my back. Let's see. Hi, Wita. I'm grouchy and I'm griping. Uh, and the cats are in the doghouse. Not for the first time. This morning they fished a bag of cat treats out of where I had hidden it, and they shredded it open. And when I finally got up, they had the nerve to demand treats. Huh. It's not the first time I had to transfer their cat treats to a baggie. Uh, Evil cats. I'm going to switch to the other back brace real quick. This one isn't doing anything for me. Yeah. Okay, I've got the darn thing. Let's stretch it and put it on. Once in a while, I have to remove all the cat hair from the Velcro fastener. At a certain point, it just doesn't work anymore. I don't know if that's any better. Hog. That strange car is still there. Weird looking thing. I think it's one of those little tiny electric cars. They look kind of like a Volkswagen Bug, except they're even smaller. Hi, Jan. Lord. Oh, J-I is not how you spell Jan. It isn't how you spell hi. I don't have a cough button. I have the flu, and I haven't had the flu since 1969, so I'm really grouchy about it. I suppose it could be the big C, COVID, but it is not bad enough to seek medical attention. It's just bad enough to make me really unhappy. And for a few days, I was beginning to think that there was not that much Kleenex in the world. Nothing tastes right. I don't have much appetite, so it's soup for me for the duration. Chicken soup, onion soup, any kind of soup. And I discovered that I had 6 cans of onion soup. Every time I went to the store, I thought I was out of it, so I bought one. I'll try to remember that next time. No more onion soup. I have seen and even attempted from the YouTube videos how to make onion soup from a fresh onion, but why? I like the canned stuff just fine. and it's a lot less work. I was going to make my famous or infamous pineapple upside down cake, but I'm not making food to share as long as I'm contagious. It's real easy, except I have to find a pan to bake it in that's small enough for the cake to fit on my platter. And my platter is extremely small. So I settled for one of the very small roasting pans. It'll probably hold a chicken, maybe. And it's that dark blue with the little speckles of white, like Mom and Granny always had. So it comes out kind of round, kind of oval. And it fits on my platter perfectly. But see, I use a cake mix because why not? If I go through the flour and baking soda and whipping the eggs and all that stuff, well, you still have to whip the eggs for your cake mix, but really, I am happier with a mix. So on the bottom of your cake pan, some people grease it with like cooking spray. Sorry. I just brush the bottom of the pan with soft butter, and if it's a cold day and the butter's hard, I'll melt it. Just a thin layer of butter. And lay out a whole bunch of pineapples, and if I have them, maraschino cherries. And then dump a whole bunch of brown sugar on top of the fruit. You can use pineapple rings or slices, same thing, or chunks or crushed pineapple, doesn't matter. But you don't want to add the juice to your topping because it'll cause the cake to boil instead of baking. I have toyed with the idea of maybe replacing some of the milk in the cake batter with pineapple juice. Hang on. But I haven't tried it, and I don't know, but I suspect it might not taste very good. So I just mix up the cake mix according to the directions and pour it over the fruit and bake it according to the directions on the box of cake mix. Yeah, butter and flour. Cake mix has flour, salt, baking soda, eggs, and butter. Although some people use Crisco or margarine or cooking oil, butter is best. Oh, and sugar. It's a cake, it's sweet, it has sugar. I don't flour the pineapple upside down cake because I'm going to turn it out so that the pineapples that cooked on the bottom are on the top of the cake, and flour would look icky. Oh, God. The coughing had subsided, but now that I'm talking a lot, it's coming back. It's okay. Getting all that gunk out of my throat and lungs is a good thing. I'm definitely going to get out in the sunshine today. And if this nasty virus ever goes away, I'll bake that cake. Ah. Whew. Ah. Hee. Ho. Oh, the cats have quit surrounding me like vultures, but they're staring at me. I can tell. I'm going to hide the baggie of treats in a drawer where they theoretically can't get to it. I once had a desk where the cats figured out how to get under the desk and into the back of the drawer and pull out stuff that was in there, like cat treats. Hi, Viken. Ah, ah, ah. Whoa, I'm really not well today. Don't know how much longer I can hang on. And I did sleep all night. That Alka-Seltzer Plus is an amazing thing, except for the fact that it's sweetened with sorbitol. And sorbitol tastes nasty and gives me nausea. Ah, jeez. Adjusting my back brace, tightening it a bit. It helps when I'm coughing because it hurts my back when I cough. I've got the double whammy. I got the flu and my back went out. And this thing is hanging around too long. I first noticed last Monday that I was coughing here and there. So this is day 9. And the coughing got worse and the runny nose started up, and I thought I would run out of Kleenex. The over-the-counter antihistamines quit working. See, I rotate chlortrimeton and Benadryl to reduce the chance that I'll build up a tolerance to either one. Before I discovered that I had a couple packets of Alka-Seltzer Plus, I was taking chlortrimeton and Benadryl together. And it still wasn't working as well as it ought to. So I'll have to see what else I have in the... It's not a medicine cabinet, it's a little basket. But, same concept. It is a good thing that I have this here inhaler. Where'd I put it this time? Did you cats steal my inhaler? I'll kill you. Okay, they didn't steal it. I won't have to kill them. It's for asthma. And as a general rule, I might use it once a week or so, but I've been using it every day. It just opens up the air passages. It isn't like a daily dose, it's an emergency inhaler. But the one that's a daily dose is a steroid, and I can't tolerate it. I get the sore throat with no other symptoms, a really painful sore throat, and that in the directions in big letters it says quit using it if that happens. But this, 2 puffs of this Advair, um, albuterol sulfate HFA inhalation aerosol, and I breathe a lot better with this stinking virus. I don't know, might be the big C COVID, but whatever it is, there is another virus going around, a flu virus. So who knows? But once again, it isn't bad enough to seek medical attention, it's just darned annoying. I have to quarantine myself, whatever it is, because nobody else wants to catch this. Uh-oh. Oh, it hurts to cough. Hurts my spine, my backbone. Water. Well, I wish I could have taken the COVID vaccine, but after I had that reaction to the Pfizer shot, the doctor said not to take another one. So I'm kind of stuck waiting because they keep having recalls of vaccines, waiting to see if the Novartis vaccine ever gets approved, and if so, is it safe? I'm not anti vax. I had most of my shots as a child. Mom freaked out about a bad bad batch of the polio vaccine that our school got. The virus was not completely killed, and children were coming down with polio. And polio had been rare otherwise. But I got the whatever was available. As a very small child, I had measles, mumps, and chicken pox because we didn't have vaccines for them. And as a 12-year-old, 11 or 12, I got rubella, which is the German measles. Just a fluke. But mostly I got my shots. Morgan, it's you spelled Morgan wrong, Philip. Let's see. Ow! Uh, no. Morgan with an A is horse or a guy's name. I don't remember. I've forgotten a great deal of the German that I learned, but I remember that one. Aw, poor Philip. Missed a field trip because of chicken pox. I don't remember what I had when I missed a field trip. Uh, but it was a tour of the Helms Bakery. So the teacher did bring back a little like promotional loaf of bread for me. And that loaf of bread was so good it didn't need anything on it, not even butter. Helms Bakery was in Culver City, right next to Los Angeles and Venice. Uh, they had trucks that would drive around just like an ice cream truck, sell donuts and loaves of bread and stuff off the truck every Saturday morning. And if my grandfather was there, he'd give us each a nickel or a dime to buy donuts. Oh, poor Beacon. Yeah, measles is nothing to scoff at, but my mother was so terrified by it. Here I was 12 years old, and what I liked to do was read. She wouldn't allow me enough light to read. She put blackout curtains on my bedroom windows and made me wear sunglasses in the house, dark sunglasses. And segregated me from the rest of the household. I shared a room with my baby sister, but she um, was moved to my parents' bedroom. See, if I was 12, she was 3. She was moved to my parents' bedroom at age 3, and just to make sure that nobody else caught the German measles. She freaked out. Vitamin D to help you fight off a virus, Philip. Oh, poor Beacon. His brother opened the curtains. Well, I was wearing dark sunglasses. Mom freaked out when I came out to the kitchen because I was hungry. I wanted some food. She scooted me back into my room. Well, I did not have vision problems from that, but I've had vision problems most of my life from some severe head injuries that I suffered when I was very young. But, my brain has figured out workarounds for most of it. And it may sound crazy, but I was getting cataracts, and then they were going away. And here and there, the cataracts will start to come back, and then they'll go away again. Yeah, Philip, mom was wound very tight. The other thing about German measles is that you do not want to get it when you're pregnant. It will harm your baby something awful. Bad, evil back. Uh-huh. Jeez. Soup and crackers for me, mostly soup. I did put shredded cheese in my onion soup. But the chicken soup, it already had noodles. What's not to like? And frankly, opening a can and heating up the soup is about all I can do right now. Really dragged out. Shut up, phone. No energy, like a damp dish rag. Philip is my favorite ranch, by the way. Yeah. Cardinal sin is amazing. And I got 2 donations to my coffee fund last week. One was anonymous, and the other was from Froggy to my Buy Me a Coffee. So I'll just keep putting that link in the show description. I'm also getting new subscribers, which is really nice. Oh man, I'm uncomfortable because of my back. I'm tired because of the cold medicine. Yeah, Froggy is a frog prince. Known him since the days of Unknown Country, before Whitley Strieber's chat room became a pay-to-play. Most of us in that chat simply could not afford to subscribe, so we eventually found each other on other social media like Facebook. Whoa. I'm sorry. But I am really in pain. I suppose I should get my back x-rayed again, but there isn't much they can do about it. There is a surgery for this problem, but it is not very successful. And in too many cases, you end up worse. So I'm not going there. Ah, whew. Yeehaw. Ho. Seems to me that this too shall pass. And in the meantime, I'm able to do, well, I do what I'm able to do, even if it isn't much. Oh, man. I want to bend down and get my shoes, but bending down is the worst. Well, I can see where Whitley Strieber needed the money to maintain his website. It's expensive to have a website. We would have subscribed if we could afford it, but we couldn't. Yeah, New Age healing sometimes works. So does prayer. Where did those cats put my shoes? You see, my shoes are cat toys. Oh, for years now I've worn loafers because I can't bend over long enough to tie my shoes. Now, it's a darn good thing I wear loafers because I can slip my feet into them, and in most cases I don't have to bend down at all, but sometimes I have to lift up that snarky heel that just wants to fold inside. Ugh. Ah. Shoes. Ah. Gosh. Ah. Google is removing advertising? Are they oh, okay. Just lie in a med bed. I'd rather lie in a hammock, but I'd probably never be able to get out of it. Oh, I don't have a med bed. What I have is a recliner chair, which fills the same purpose as a hospital bed and doesn't take up a whole room. I cannot sleep lying flat. If I must sleep in an actual bed, I end up sleeping on my side because if I prop myself up with pillows, that doesn't last very long. They all come tumbling down. And I am just not comfortable lying flat, and I really can't breathe well either. Oh, itches. It's that season. On top of everything else, I do have allergies to all the pollen that's floating around. And the cat dander might be a problem, might not. Last time they checked, I did not have an allergy to cat dander. Yeah, there's been all kinds of miracle prayer healings. So whether you want to do positive thoughts or prayer, all is welcome. Oh, gosh. Lotion. My favorite hand lotion is baby lotion. Oh, I got drugs. And the neighbor's kids are screaming again, so I guess they're still alive. The problem is they scream when they're having fun. How is anybody supposed to know when they really need help? They always scream. Constantly. 6 times a day. Ah, evil back. I'm not doing much today. I'm not talking much. I'm going in circles of fog. But it's good to see my chat room. Yes, cat's furs are nice. You gotta watch out. Sometimes a cat purrs because it's angry and is about to shred you with its claws. You need to tell the difference. Well, Philip, earplugs might help, but I'm 2 doors down with all the doors and windows shut, and I still hear the screaming. It's worse when the adults start screaming at each other. Yes, there's an angry purr. You have to look at the facial expression. Ears back or ears flat, and sometimes you can see it in their eyes. Noise canceling headphones? No. I just get used to the noises. I still hear them, but they don't bother me that much. It's just makes me think, and it's mostly girls, teens and preteens. Mm. They scream when they're happy. They scream all the time, and you just go, what are you going to do when you need help? Oh yeah, Gizmo, a Siamese cat. Yeah, they do seem to talk. Oh yeah, if the tail is going thump, 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 you know the cat is angry. When I was a kid, we had a cat that was insane. She would demand to be petted, and then without warning, she was done, and out would come the claws, and I'd just pull my hands back as fast as I could. Oh man. Oh Lordy. The ongoing saga Especially in these times, if you're contagious with anything, you've got to isolate yourself. Just have to. People are terrified. Oh, man. In these times, I'm glad I don't have a car. I couldn't possibly afford to put gas in it if I had one. Here on the mountain, gas is over $7 a gallon. And I know in some European countries, that's about half what you pay. But you don't have a whole continent to cover. Granny was 850 miles away. That much gas, a tank and a half each way. And our public transportation is pitiful. The bus routes don't even make sense. You know how the cities have, the big cities have a bus that goes east-west, turns around and goes from west to east. Another bus goes north to south, turns around and goes south to north, all on the same road. Not here. They turn here and they turn there and they go over there. Even when looking at the map of the bus route, you can just end up being totally confused. And you can't get anywhere without taking at least two buses. You better be sure you get the right ones or you'll end up in Timbuktu. 8 pounds a gallon, vegan. Well, that isn't as high as I thought it would be, but it's still outrageous. And the pound is worth more than the dollar. Let's see, and Philip says LA Times television reviewer gave a forceful review against CBS for having their best new shows only available on Paramount Plus. So CBS stopped giving or stopped putting their best programming on network TV. Yeah. Super is 10 pounds a gallon, huh? Yeah, I understand about mid-sentence edits, Philip. It's fine. I'm the queen of typos. Um, I'm not going to subscribe to Disney Plus because I happen to be interested in one series. I wouldn't subscribe to Netflix, but my sister put me on her family plan, so I get it for free. But it's been months since I found anything there that I want to watch. I watched all of Midsummer Murders, and that X-Men movie where Doctor Strange surrenders at the end. I only watched that because I like, what's his name, the actor. He also played Sherlock Holmes. in a recent TV series. Oh, happy birthday, Howard. Oh, my birthday is coming up soon, so we're fellow Gemini. Oh, every year we're old for one day. You're 3 years old, you're 7 years old, you're 12 years old. I'll be 68 years old. Yes, Philip, thank you. Benedict Cumberbatch. That's quite a mouthful. The neat thing about that show, Sherlock, although some episodes were so too much slasher that I couldn't really watch them, and I was like, is it over? Is it over? In one episode, Sherlock and his brother Mycroft are visiting their parents, and the actors playing the parents were Benedict Cumberbatch's actual parents. They are quite accomplished actors themselves. I liked the new twists on the old Sherlock Holmes stories. Like in the original, Rache, Rache, was German for revenge. And the police didn't know that. They thought it would be someone named Rachel, and they just died before they could write the L on the end. In the Sherlock version, it is Rachel, and the police think it's the German word for revenge. Okay. I'm typing. That's supposed to be a slice of cake. It looks more like a wedge of cheese to me. Oh well, go figure with emojis. Ah, Lord. I love this desktop computer. I totally love it. It's much more stable than the laptop. It seems to get a better internet connection. It absolutely has a better picture. And once I set up the speakers that Gil from Cardinal Sin sent me, it'll have awesome sound. I know that those have got to be the hibiscus flower, Philip. Even if it says they're roses, there's hibiscus. Do you know that the petals of the hibiscus flower are totally edible? You can put them in a salad or you can just pick them and eat them. I did all the time when I was a kid, but they're kind of bland, not much flavor. A kind of pleasant, silky texture to them. And they're supposed to have all kinds of vitamins. So Philip wants to hold a luau for you, Howard. Sounds good to me. Some tree leaves are edible in the spring, Beacon says. Well, I guess I'm going to have to figure out how to use that Google thing where you can point your phone camera at something and Google will tell you what it is. Because I've got volunteer plants in my gardens. And I think I know what they are, but I'm not sure. Okay, Philip, have I seen Luther with Idris and Elba? I don't think so. Luther with Idris Elba. No, doesn't ring any bells. Well, I remember Lex Luthor. I don't remember Luther. Lex Luthor was a bad guy in Superman. I've been watching and actually rewatching Inspector Morse and Inspector Lewis. I learn a lot about British culture from these old British shows, but a great deal of it is probably wrong. For example, I've been told at a restaurant in England never to ask for a napkin because that's a diaper. These things are serviettes. But apparently, at least on a recent murder mystery that I watched, well, not too recent, but British, the guy asked for a napkin. Oh, and I did just start watching Vera. I've seen a few episodes before, but not too many. She's a woman DCI, middle-aged, and very competent. You know, Detective Chief Inspector. Stranger Things? Well, yeah, I watched, I think, 2 seasons of Stranger Things, and then I gave it up. Too much teenage romance for my taste. And Harry Potter was killed for me when don't remember their names, but the 2 characters fell in love. 2 of Harry's friends. I did watch the movie that Gil sent me, The Whisperer in Darkness, H.P. Lovecraft. A talking H.P. Lovecraft picture thrill. It's done like an old black and white movies from, well, maybe the 20s, anywhere from the 1920s to the 1950s. I knew because it was H.P. Lovecraft, I knew that the ending would be a downer. And it was. But it was very well done. I have not looked at the special bonuses on the second disc. I'll have to do that soon. The bad back, evil back. But when I say that I've been watching Inspector Morse and Inspector Lewis, I've been listening to them, but for the past few days, the light was hurting my eyes, so I'd lie back with my eyes closed and listen. But because I've seen them before, it wasn't a big deal. Yeah, well, can we watch more British TV? But by the time we get it here in the States, it's kind of old. We like we were enjoying Faulty Towers after the series ended where you live. And Are You Being Served? Have I visited Texas? Or has Beacon visited Texas? I doubt that Jimmy Jams, I think that's his name, I doubt that Beacon has visited the States at all. Oh, Monty Python, yeah. In the 1980s, Monty Python was a big deal here. We were actually studying it in classes in college. Yeah, I don't go places very often, but I do study them. I'll read about them, watch documentaries, and watch the fictional dramas and comedies that are set in those places. Okay. Oh, DCI Banks. Someone else has recommended that, and I think I've watched it once or twice. DCI Banks. It's sounding very familiar. I watch more TV than people who actually have cable TV, and I see it all online, mostly for free. I cut through the stuff that doesn't interest me. I used to be addicted to the news, especially after 9/11. But, it was just on in the background while I did other things. But I slept with the news on the television until I discovered Art Bell somewhere in the 90s. And I would shut off the sound on the television and listen to Art Bell all night. And the television was my nightlight. I can't stand complete darkness. I am somewhat afraid of the dark, but it's also because my eyesight is weird. It's annoying, upsetting, disorienting when it's completely dark. Let's see. Philip wants to know, do I watch shows on Amazon Prime? I do when I can find one I want to watch. I've been watching Cadfile. It's free with ads, but at least they don't make me subscribe to BritBox. I can't afford another subscription. Oh. Mm. Wow. Now, Wales, in many ways, is still a separate country from England. Ireland and Scotland, of course. But the young people are not learning their own language. They're learning English and not Welsh. The Cornish dialect is disappearing too. But I've heard there's a special television station in Wales where everything is in Welsh to encourage people to learn their native language. Oh dear, poor Philip. Sometimes if I sleep with the news on, I dream I'm in a war on the receiving end of a drone strike. It's a shame. Even way back, Robert Burns, the great poet, Scottish poet. Many of his words were actually English. The most famous being, of course, the best laid plans of mice and men. Gang after gley. Only most people say it now, often go awry. Many authors all over, not just the British Isles, but even mainland Europe, learned to write in English because they have such a better chance of getting published. Well, I don't know whether Anthony Hopkins would know Welsh. Richard Burton was Welsh, but he had the perfect BBC accent. Oh, the Irish gypsy community, they still speak, they speak their Gaelic tongue. Good for them. It's a shame to lose a language. Here in California, very early 1900s, I don't remember the exact date, but maybe Google will tell me. I read a book about Ishi, the last of his tribe, last of his people. Okay, he was born around 1861. The last known member of the Native American Yahi people. Ishi in Two Worlds, the last of his tribe, was the name of the book. He was found in 1911. Butchers caught him outside a slaughterhouse near Oroville. That's Gold Town, Oroville, in Northern California. He was starving because tourists would find these stashes of food that he had put away. and go, oh, isn't that nice? Let's take it home for a souvenir. Okay. Um, and so his own food went missing, and he ended up living in a museum where people could watch him uh, performing his traditional way of life. Died in 1916, only 5 years after he was found. Let's see. That's about all I'm going to get from the first page of Google. Well, last known member of the Yahi tribe. Well, nobody spoke his language. They found a member of a related tribe who could somewhat communicate with him because their languages were similar. But man, it would have been really difficult if they couldn't find any way to communicate because his language was dead. Reminds me of a famous wolf boy in France. He had apparently been raised by wolves, went around on all fours, acted like a wolf. He was found and rescued, and they tried to teach him to speak. He did learn to wear clothing and eat human food and so forth. And then one day he learned the word for water. L apostrophe EAU, low, the water, or O, water. But that seemed to be as far as they could get because he had not learned language before the age of maybe 10, maybe a little older than 10. Couldn't learn any language at all. Oh, hi, Sandra. I'm fading fast. Just not well. Better than I was a few days ago, but the cold medicine has me really groggy. And this morning, when I finally got up, I had to search for the pack of cat treats that the cats had fished out and shredded open. And of course, they had the nerve to surround me like vultures and demand treats. Cats. I'm hoping to keep it on improving, but the worst part of it is when I cough because my back went out. I don't know what I did to it because I was sleeping. And when I woke up in the morning, I had great difficulty getting out of the recliner chair where I sleep, and great difficulty walking to the bathroom and to the kitchen. Sorry. And when I cough, my back really. really bad. Ah, whew. Wow. Cats rule the world, but secretly, yeah, cats rule everything. Let's see. Philip saw a story about a gorilla who asked for pizzas by pressing tomato, cheese, and bread on his symbol board. Wow. Yeah, gorillas seem to be able to learn that sort of thing, but not speech. And I'm sure that the wolf boy learned to communicate in other ways, but he really didn't learn to speak. The fact that he learned to say water, which in French is eau, reminds me of Helen Keller. She was deaf and blind, but, so she had to learn to communicate with her hands. But she had been okay up to something like the age of 3. And the first breakthrough was when her teacher, Annie Sullivan, put her hand under the running water and she said, wah, 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 which of course is how babies say water. And that was when she began to realize that this was a way to communicate. Annie used her hands to show Helen the signs for water. Yeah, speaking, it does sound like a plowman's lunch. Philip says apparently Helen Keller had a very acute sense of smell. Yes, when you lose one sense, or in her case two, your other senses get more finely tuned to compensate. Oh man, my water's fill it. Oh gosh, I got up, didn't fall down. Hobble, hobble. Oh man, I can't hop, skip, and jump today. Dum de dum, dum de dum de dum. Dum de dum, dum de dum de dum. I'm kind of wobbly, so I'm going very slowly and carefully. Even in the best of, sometimes just lose it and fall for no reason. My legs just go out from under me. Oh God. Ah, hooey. That was quite a task just walking a few feet to get water. Well, I'm staying online, Viken, because I love you guys. You're my connection to the wider world. And it's always a pleasure to talk with you. Ah, boy. Where else can I connect with people from all over the world without leaving my chair? And I like Great Granny's rocking chair. Someone recently, I think it was a Facebook message, asked me something about Phil, and I didn't answer because I couldn't think of a good answer. Well, I will eventually answer it, but now I don't remember the question. I think we're living in a Philip K. Dick story, and I think the story is Faith of Our Fathers, the story he wrote for Dangerous Visions. In that story, LSD turned out to be the antidote to the drug that the government was putting in our water. What am I chobbling on? I'm not chobbling on anything at the moment. I'm just trying to keep the airway clear. Sorry, Vegan. I did have mints. Mints help with dyspepsia. If your tummy's upset, get mints. And that's why I don't understand people who insist that they don't like mints. Let's see, Philip says, Helen Keller visited work sites and wrote about the conditions there by describing how the places smelled, fresh or foul. Smell is a potent wizard that transports you across thousands of miles and all the years you have lived. The odors of fruits waft me to my southern home, to my childhood frolics in the peach orchard. Yeah, one time, I think it was incense that I was going through. It might have been aromatic oils. The one fragrance I just had to have, yeah, it was oils, aromatic oils. I had to buy it. It reminded me of my grandmother and her lilac perfume. Vikan used to enjoy cooking videos. His girlfriend loved them. I still watch cooking videos. Chef John Pierre, because he's entertaining, even though I'll never try to make many of the things he shows us. I do learn a lot about prep. In French, they call it mise en place. Before you start cooking, you have all your vegetables chopped and in little dishes, all your spices ready and measured, etc. Oh, that's a Helen Keller quote, Philip, about the peach orchard. Cardinal Sin, I don't know whether anything showed up. I've been down for over a week with flu. And even on those days when I have a little energy, I don't dare expose others to whatever virus this is. Sorry. I might, since I'm still contagious now, I might send a friend over there with my key to get whatever is there. But I'm not going. Uh, Oh, oh. Philip is in eastern Washington. He should be some crates of apples. My great aunt Florence lived in Walla Walla, Washington, and she used to send us a crate of Golden Delicious every year. And they were so amazing. They tasted like pears, but they had the texture of apples. Best of both worlds. Uh, whew. Lord, the backache is bad enough. But every time I move or cough, the back just goes completely bonkers. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm not saying it's COVID. It's probably the other virus that's going around, but nobody wants it, so I have to stay isolated. I started coughing a week ago Monday, so this is day 9. And I haven't had the flu since 1969. This ticks me off. Oh, yeah, Beacon, lots of apples and cider in England. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Gil. Another unboxing to do. Oi, og. Ah, I'm breathing much better today, but I'm still coughing a lot. Not much appetite, nothing tastes right. Living on soup. Oh, Philip, the matriarch of the Northwest apple industry has died. Wow. A tree, a 194-year-old tree. Well, I have an apple tree in my yard that is left over from when they had apple orchards up here, and it must be 100 years old. It does make fruit. It's the original delicious apple, not that freak of nature called a red delicious. That was a mutation. That red delicious apples are not particularly delicious, but they are less likely to get bruised when they're packed up and shipped, and they don't go rotten as fast. But these are the original delicious. They're mostly green with a sort of red cap on the top of the apple. Uh, the back is killing me. Good thing I have a rocking chair. Great Granny's rocking chair. It's the only place where she could sit comfortably. Uh, uh, Veggie do dog. Uh, Beacon wants to know if I ever tried a Cox's orange pippin apple. No, I've never seen them here. I'm aware that pippin means the apple is small. And smaller apples do tend to have more flavor. I think I read Magicians of the Gods, Philip, but it's been so many years. I have read some of Graham Hancock's books. I couldn't get through the one where he's scuba diving. I just could not get into that. But I've read some of his books. I worked very hard to avoid going off the deep end, as so many people do. They start out with a reasonable story of something strange and unusual, and they get some attention. But when the attention dies down, they try to make it more spectacular to get more attention. And the next thing you know, they're off in La La Land. Is Randy here? I don't see Randy. Oh, there he is. Oh, man. It's hard to resist the temptation. I mean, my husband, Philip K. Dick, did go off into La La Land here and there. But most of what he wrote about really did happen to him. Uh, Philip lives near a waterfall that dwarfs Niagara Falls. Oh, the Nibiru show on Freedomizer. Yeah, I gave up Freedomizer primarily because the platform Blog Talk Radio has so many glitches and causes so many problems. But yeah, the Nibiru thing, well, that's where Zechariah Sitchin went off the deep end. Nibiru is not a noun. It's an adjective that means crossing. And they were talking about when two planets' orbits crossed. The ancient Sumerians and Babylonians, um, what they were describing was spectacular enough. Oh, Deacon liked Ancient of Days. I started calling this channel Ancient of Days, but some church that has a recording of a song called Ancient of Days kept claiming copyright. I'm sorry, but the Ancient of Days is from the Bible. It's long out of copyright. But, you know, why take the chance? Oh, Lord. God. Yeah, I am going to have to get off soon. Going into La La Land does make for wonderful storytelling, but don't believe it. And my antidote for Zechariah Sitchin is Alexander Velikovsky. He was much closer to the truth. Yeah, lots of people have debunked Sitchin. It appears that he started with some very good ideas, but he doesn't really know the ancient languages. He was depending on things like dictionaries and translations by experts, and then inserting his own ideas about what it really means. I someday will get back to reading that humongous thick book by Jacques Vallée, Messengers of Deception. I think I got about halfway through it before all hell broke loose around here and I had to pack up all my books and everything else and move. So it's probably in a box in the shed. Yeah, oh, Zechariah Sitchin's books are a great read. Just don't believe it. Now, there's plenty of mythology from all over the ancient Near East, including the Bible, that some non human beings did mate with humans. But that doesn't make them our creators. They didn't make us, they damaged us. They polluted our genetic code with their own. Hybrids are just not a good idea. It works for mules, donkey and horse cross, but in almost all cases, mules cannot reproduce. But in most cases, hybrids are not as healthy. Uh, as far as different human races, that's different. We're all human. And we should interbreed because we've been bred. And just like purebred dogs, cats, and horses, we're unhealthy. We should mix up the gene pool a little better. Yeah, critics of the Bible haven't read it. They heard someone say something. Part Neanderthal? Well, Philip, there's good reason to believe that the Neanderthal were fully human. They were a small, isolated tribe of fully human people who survived a terrible destruction, whatever caused the ice ages. Possibly a meteorite, possibly a volcano, possibly both. But being isolated, they became inbred, just like purebred dogs, ponies, horses, cats. So they didn't die out, but when they met what we call modern humans, they interbred because they were human too. Yeah, there is a thing called hybrid vigor. For example, you can cross a white flower with a red flower from the same kind of plant, and you might end up with a pink flower. But they're the same species. They're just bred. And donkeys and horses apparently are close enough that mules, I've heard it said many times by many cowboys and such, that the best horse is a mule. But whatever bred with us was not close enough. Yeah, I won't drag my knuckles on the floor in public. Poor Philip. I'm still waiting for Ancestry. I had to send them a second DNA sample. Something went wrong with the first one. I want to know my ancestry. And I especially want to know because I have to rethink my family medical history if Dad was not my father. Odds are Mom did the nasty with her first cousin. It's very rare, but once in a while a mule is female and actually gives birth to an offspring, but it's rare. Oh, I'm gonna have to sign off, guys. I'm done for the day, and it has been 2 hours, so let's see. Thank you all. Man, the heck? You ought to see what I typed. I'm not telling. End. Insert end. Thank you all for listening and have a great day. And there's only one typo that I can see, and only because it's underlined in red. Here we go. All of you stay safe. You're always in my prayers. Yeah, I think it must be nap time. But I gotta let the cats OUT. It was a little nippy yesterday, but the weather's fine today. Okay, guys, have a great day, week, month, and year. And thank you for all the prayers.